Ladies and gentlemen, what is up? My name is DocHoliday, and I am here today with part 3 of our series between Sharp and Zero. So, this is going to be the exciting conclusion of this best of 3, and we're going to have to see who comes out on top. I hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far. If you haven't checked it out already, you can check it out right here on StarCastTV. So, just hop into the video archive and check those out before you get into this one. But with that being said, I hope you guys have been enjoying the content on the channel so far. Please hit that subscribe button if you want to support the channel. And of course, you can leave us some very nice comments in the comment section below, or really mean ones if you think my casting is terrible. So there is, of course, your avenue for feedback there. But without further ado, let's hop right on into the series, guys. I've been looking forward to seeing who comes out on top. Here we go. Alrighty, guys. Well, let's go ahead and get right on into it. Top right-hand corner, spawning as the pink Zerg, we have Zero. And in the bottom left-hand corner, spawning as the orange Terran, we have Sharp. Alrighty, guys. So game number 2 was very, very quick. I'm hoping to see a little bit of a longer game out of these two this time. I really enjoyed game number 1, having it go so late and having it be such a scrappy fight, surrounding the Zerg third and having it eventually, end up being that giant battle of attrition. Very interesting game. Game number 2, of course, was a little bit of a fluke in my opinion. I mean, it certainly seemed like interesting decision making for Sharp to only leave 3 Marines behind with 1 turret to defend his entire natural expansion. Even in the best case scenario, I think that still just goes Zero's way. So very interesting decision. In the meantime, though, speaking of interesting decisions, looks like we have an 8 racks here outside of the natural expansion. So of course the placement here is to allow the Marines to get to the natural of the Zerg much more quickly. This is going to be a very, very aggressive build where we're trying to set up a bunker near the natural expansion and just kill Zerg's natural very quickly. Of course, the response to this is going to be some pretty fancy drone micro and trying to stall for your pool. So let's go ahead and see what we can see. We're going to be looking for a response, a very quick response rather, from Zero, and some very good decision making in order to save his natural expansion. So let's go ahead and check this out. Looks like we have the drone coming out here on the map now to try and scout. And we do have the completion of the barracks. So we're going to be having Marine production coming out very quickly. And we have a double scout here from Sharp because he wants to get that SCV to the natural as soon as possible and get a barrack started. Or sorry, a bunker started as soon as possible. In the meantime, looks like we have a plan to go 2-hatch Muta. Of course, this is not going to go exactly the way that Zero wants to go. And we have an instant cancel on the gas as the SCV meets up with a drone here. That is going to be a big signal that something weird is going on here. I would assume that Zero expects at least an 8 racks. So we already have some more drones coming down here to the natural expansion. 3 is not going to be enough, so we would likely want to see some additional drones make it down here in a minute. And there it is, bunker getting set up here. Kind of an interesting position outside the natural. I would have expected to be a little bit closer, but I guess this is going to be to cover for a second bunker here once this gets established. Wow, large number of drones being pulled here. Very quickly pushes Sharp off of his plan. Sharp now with Marines in tow, going to start setting up the bunker once again. And we have a ton of drones heading back to the mineral lines now that there are lings on the map. And we have 4 linebacking drones out here outside the natural trying to catch Marines. But unfortunately, there's too much action going on in the natural expansion. The drone's not going to be able to linebacker for that 4th Marine getting over here. And that is going to be a full bunker's worth of Marines if they get in there. Looks like the drone snipe off one of the SCVs. So that's pretty big, as SCV's going to provide, obviously, the ability to repair that bunker. It makes it much more difficult to all in the bunker. Yeah, here we go. So, oh wow, that was a huge pickup. Big mistake by Sharp to lose that Marine right away. So this is only 75% of the killing power that we would have had in that bunker. And the drones come in and help out with that. And that is that, man. An excellent hold by Zero. Fantastic. We lost, looks like 1 drone. through that whole thing. That is not the type of 8 racks that you want. We have Mr. Marine over here in the bunker being watched by an overlord, so even if he wants to escape, there's no way out for this Marine in the bunker there. So a very, very ideal hold for Zero. In the meantime, let's take a look at what is going on. We have some Marines moving out on the map here. I'm not sure if they're trying to be sneaky and get around and maybe get some more aggression done here at the natural expansion by running around the Zerglings as they kind of try to position out here in the natural. So interesting play here. Looks like they are coming back, though. Not sure what that was about. Maybe he was looking for a greedy attack. Maybe he was just trying to scout, make sure there wasn't any Zerglings in tow. But I think he should have known just due to the positioning of the bunker there. So we'll have to just kind of give that one a Korean Star Sense pass there, because I have no idea what that was about. But alrighty, large number of bio now building up outside the natural expansion. Should be plenty to keep the lings off of the natural as it gets rolling here, with a bunch of SCVs rolling into the natural to start mining that mineral line. And we will see what the build orders say we're going to be going for. So it looks like we have a macro hatchery coming down, so probably a 3-hatch muta at this point, going to be going for that 900 muta pop here in the future as the layer is getting underway. Could be lurker, but my feeling is going to be muta. Pro Korean players just really love their mutalisks. It's a bit more dynamic. There's a lot less weaknesses to the build order overall. You know, Lurker very vulnerable to things like a fast tank or early drops, stuff like that. All of that can be very difficult for a Lurker to deal with, and Muta just does way better at not dying to those type of things. In the meantime, we'll have to see what the barracks count is, if we're going to be going just pure bio with +1, or if we're going to be getting a quick factory and looking for a more balanced playstyle. Alright, looks like the Spire is just coming down now. So around 300 HP, we should be seeing all the larvae being saved up for that big 9 mutalist pop. And then, of course, after that, you're going to progress to 11 mutas, so you can make use of hold position and really deal devastating damage to bio units that are strung out, running around the map in a single file line here. So, we'll have to see how this goes. Bio moving out onto the map already, though. And it looks like Zero is very aware of the potentiality for an attack here. We do have Sunkens coming down in the natural expansion to make sure that there is no bust before the tech comes out. Obviously an excellent choice there. Ling's going to try to run around this bio ball here and do as much distracting as possible. Looks like we have a Marine on the back end that could get caught, but the rest of the group waits for him. I guess he's just the tubby Marine. He's, you know, it's been a little while since he's done some soldiering, man. It's got to work out so you can keep up with the rest of the group. But, yeah, Zergling's doing their job, man. They are just being annoying, positioning in a way that it forces the Marines to kind of slow down and deal with their presence. In the meantime, let's take a look. So we do have factory on the way here now. Marine range very close to being done as well. That's going to be something that's very important to have done before we engage the Mutalisks. Mutas, in the meantime, about half of the way done. Going to be popping out very soon. And they are going to be a formidable fighting force, and certainly able to deter this bio ball from really doing any kind of damage here. And of course, the whole point of these mutalisks is going to be so we can secure a third base, so we really will need to deal with the bio that is on the map here in a little bit. In the meantime, let's take a look. +1, only about a third of the way done here, so that is going to be a ways off, unless that's +2. Is that +1? Yeah, that is +1. So this bio ball is actually going to be quite a bit weaker than you would expect it to be, as +1 isn't anywhere near on time for a standard 3-hatch mutalisk versus like a 5 racks or a 4 racks. So again, the Marine's going to do significantly less damage to these mutalisks here, and that means that this ball is a little bit more at risk than it normally would be. Of course, this is a ton of mutalisks and Zerglings already, so they would have been able to deal with this very easily regardless. But as you can see, the mutalisks essentially taking no damage here whatsoever, very easily dealing with quite a sizable ball of Marines and medics here, and that is going to be a very nicely secured third base. we even have Lurker on the way, so things looking very standard as we progress towards our mid-game here. So Lurker's on the way. We do have +1, likely going to be for Carapace first, and here comes the Queen's Nest. Hive going to be on the way as well. Terran now progressing very quickly towards those science vessels, adding on additional barracks here to continue the production ramp up, as now he has saturated the third base and gotten everything really rolling here. And Sharp should be looking to take some fights here in just a little bit. That +1 timing, though, man, it is so slow. We still don't have it. Mutos are in the main base, and they're going to be able to start spraying these guys down with some hold position micro if they ever unball. And, man, they are really not going to be able to counter-aggress until that +1 is done. Oh, my gosh. Zerglings running into the natural expansion. Very little units here. If the Mutos have just been a little bit closer to the natural, they would have been able to bust that, no problem. But, you know, I mean, that's all gravy. That doesn't even really need to happen. We are progressing towards that Hive. Lurker almost done. Hive started now, just about 10% of the way done here. Looks like we have an SCV trying to potentially get an expansion in the top left-hand corner eventually here. But Zerg is already on 3 bases with 4 hatch. 3 gas going to be the key to getting that Hive tech out. And now we just have Mutas that we got to contend with over the natural expansion. And there's very little room in the back here for Marines to deal with this. So this could potentially deal pretty devastating damage, as this is a really nice location for Mutas to come in and harass. Looks like a scouting SCV on the map has been found before it can get across the map. That's going to be pretty unfortunate. We're going to continue to need to use scans to deal with this. Wow, double tank on the field. I can't believe I didn't actually see that. Yeah, that is a pretty early tank count to get going here. We do have vessels on the way as well, so it is going to be up to 0 to defend the very early tank push that may be coming out here. But things are looking good. We already have +1 Carapace very far along. Hive is just finished now, so we should be seeing a Defiler Den coming down and adrenal glands for the Zerglings as well. So going to be able to really man-fight this army here in just a little bit here. Unfortunately, though, one Lurker getting picked off as the army is coming across. This is a really nice window in order to be able to do some damage. So a lot of Lurkers on the field. Going to need to use those to secure both the third and the natural expansion, though. So it looks like we are going to be looking for a fight somewhere here out in the open to at least delay the tanks from getting to the natural. Because, again, the tanks being able to bust the natural expansion sunkens very easily. And, of course, with the science vessels in there also going to be able to deal with Lurkers, we really do have to do something before this army arrives. So pretty good split, actually. A lot of the Mutas survived that. Oh, but here comes the attack to the third, and the units are not in place to defend this at all. Oh my gosh, couple of Lings and drones blocking the ramp actually lets the Lurkers get into a decent enough position to potentially defend this. 2 Lurkers being burrowed so the Bio can't just jump on them, and the rest move forward to try and make a defense here. These Lurkers, I believe, can hit the tank from the high ground here. Oh, can they though? Yes, they can. And the tank is forced to unsiege and reposition. So, oh my gosh, this is just being defended by the seat of the pants here. We have units coming around to try and flank from the back, but now we have another contingent of units moving up towards the third, so the Lurkers getting out of the way of that ramp here lets the second group of units up here onto the high ground. No medics with that, though, so going to be a bit easier to deal with than you would normally have to deal with some Marines. Look at the Zerglings already doing a ton of damage. Trying to focus down this hatchery, and it does look like the third goes down, so this is a pretty huge blow to the Zerg. Wow, what a push. Who was ahead at this point? I mean, the third is just so integral into dealing with the bio and tank play in the mid game here. Once you have medics, Marines, vessels, and tanks, they become very difficult to deal with unless you have defilers and lurkers and adrenalings and everything like that. And with only 2 gases, this becomes a much more difficult proposition to be able to afford all of those very expensive gas units. Third, instantly going down and being resecured here. Very important. We also have a Nidus there, which is going to make the defense much, much easier next time around. And we even have a 4th hatchery now coming down here at this bottom right-hand corner position. So we really got to hold on to our bases, because we don't want to repeat a next game 0. Sorry, not next game. The first game, rather, where 0 was unable to secure a 4th base the entire time and ended up just slowly bleeding out in the late game. So, big bio ball now. Large Terran army going to be running around the map here, trying to find any port of opportunity where he can do some damage and slow down the Zerg's progression towards 4 gases. In the meantime, though, we do have Defiler Lurker on the field, and that is the ultimate defensive composition for this early portion of the late game. Scourge also flying around with his army to make sure that these science vessels don't get a little too cocky and start irradiating every tech unit they find. Nice swarm here, going to be able to push this army back from this very large choke. And of course, this is very important to keep Terran just away from your bases. It gets so annoying when Terran is able to sit right outside one of your bases and start really slowing down everything as you really can't move out. Very, very difficult to deal with in the long term here. Looks like we have 3 lurkers on the high ground here. Do we have any? Oh, everyone's coming for this defense. We're not losing this base again. Alrighty, Defiler does get irradiated, unfortunately. Are we going to get any kind of spell off? Ooh, a nice little plague before he loses his life to that very deadly radiation from the science vessels. But man, do we have all of the Nidus canals that we could possibly need for this defense here. So likely going to see good defenses at both the 4th and the 3rd bases. Ooh, can we? Oh man, this Defiler gets sniped though, and this guy still needs to make a consume before he's able to defend. The Knight is not quite available here yet, but we do have lurkers on the high ground. So this is going to be a pretty successful defense. The plague did come into, you know, pretty clutch here, as some of the units were still injured. Ooh, we got another plague here, and now we have a very vulnerable bio army. Look at this. A couple of drones could come and finish this off for, you know, how much HP is left in this army here, and the lurkers come up and they take care of it. A science vessel gets sniped out of the air by some Scourge. Things looking pretty good here for 0 as he's able to secure all 4 of his bases here now. We do have a 3rd base now coming down on the middle only for Sharp here. This is obviously a very strong defensive position, as you can just place units up here on the high ground, and it makes it very difficult to bust up that. We are looking to take a 4th, but man, these Zerglings here at all these bases have been very irritating. Sharp not able to just sneak down the CCs like he had been planning on doing, looks like, for quite a long portion of time here. Alrighty, guys. Well, now that we're on 4 bases, we should be seeing potential for Ultralisks very soon. Don't see the Cavern yet, but we are getting the upgrade for the Defiler Energy, so they're able to do both a Swarm. Oh my gosh! A huge... Oh my god! Are you going to get a second one? A huge drop gets sniped by 2 pairs of Scourge. Dude, half the army just disappears in the blink of an eye. This is absolutely insane. 3rd dropship actually getting sniped as well here, so the potential for even getting another drop-off after this with the dropships really not going to be there. In the meantime, though, we do have an attack at the 3rd as well, or at the 4th, I guess we'll call it. And this is a pretty successful bust. We're clearing out the defenses here. But overall, man, that is a huge blow to take for a very unsuccessful drop in the main base. And the 3rd is still cranking away. It looks like we even are going to be able to save the hatchery here with a couple of cracklings and a lurker. So man, things are really not working out for Sharp here. The aggression has just not paid off very much. As you can see, very little damage has been taken. Let's take a look at the upgrades on the units here. We have 2-1 for the Zerglings here, and we have 1-3 for the Marines. So the Zerglings actually looking very good on the upgrade front, going to be very effective in fighting this bio army here in the late game. My gosh, the Cracklings are just annihilating every army that comes across the map here to try and deal any kind of damage to the expansions. Sharp really not getting the damage done that he wants with all of his commitments here. We have a very low number of vessels in the air. No buildup whatsoever, as Sharp has been very active at sniping those out. No dropships left available as well. But here we go. This might be a little bit successful as we find a nice little angle to come in here with very little units here on the 4th. But once again, a very nice lurker spine takes out a ton of the units here. Ooh, and just some Marines just walking to their doom here at the natural rally. Very strange. Well, at the very least, Sharp has been able to keep a ton of the mining from going down here at the 4th base. And that is very important. Haven't been able to mine that 4th gas for quite a long time here, but we do have the Ultralisk Cavern coming up now, armor upgrade on the way, so that is going to be something very powerful to contend with here once these bases come up and get up and running with some good saturation on the minerals. Ultralists, of course, with good armor upgrades, extremely difficult for Terran to deal with, especially once they get on armor parity with the attack. When you have 3 armor upgraded Ultras versus 3 armor upgraded Marines, they become kind of sort of invincible a little bit, and that is going to be on the way very shortly. As you can see, the Carapace is just about to be finished here, and so those Ultras are going to be extremely powerful going up against the Bio Army here. We are only on 3 bases right now, so Sharp is really looking to secure a 4th base. We do have the CC out here, but so far unable to make a secure expansion for the 4th. And in the meantime, oh my gosh, these are some very juicy vessels that are coming over here. Very low HP. 1 Mutalisk could come in and wipe those all out in just 2 shots. And of course, we're going to lower the number of Scourge it takes to kill these as well. But very nice Plague. Very just excellent use of Defilers. Defiler use is one of the most defining characteristics of a very powerful late game Zerg player. And I'm actually surprised that this third hasn't seen any pressure. As you can see, very little in the way of defenses. Their single bunker can be easily taken out by a bunch of cracklings, or a crackling, a lurker, defiler, whatever. There's so many ways to bust that base here. But the pressure that Sharp has been putting on has been keeping Zero back at his bases, defending for quite some time. Now that we have Ultras on the field, though, we should be seeing a little bit more aggression out of him. Oh man, so many of these vessels going down here. Excellent use of the Zerglings to distract the fire from the... oh my god! All of the play... There's one more! Are you serious? These are insane Science Vessel snipes. Extremely good play here from Zero. Playing like an absolute champion. We have yet another drop from the single dropship. Single dropships are just super weak. Like, this can maybe get some drone kills or something like that, but the double drops is really where the power comes in. Drops from Terran, but looks like we haven't decided to commit. Oh my gosh, the drone's so cocky. They just come over. You're not going to do anything. You're just one dropship. Get out of here. Drone's pushing the Marines out of the main base here. So very nice play from Zero once again. Sharp is, again, playing super aggressive, and it is, it's doing stuff. He's certainly getting things done here, but unfortunately, I don't think the trades are in favor of him at all. Again, 3 armor up. Look at how little damage. Look at how slow these Marines kill these Ultralists, and they got the speed. They're basically giant speedlings at this point. Look how powerful they are. Just absolutely destroying an entire army. Just a couple of Ultras by themselves. So, very scary unit to contend with at this point, and we have tons of them on the field now. BCs on the field actually do a pretty decent job. They do a lot of damage, so they're going to be poking through that armor. But oh no, here's that very exposed third base here getting attacked by a bunch of Ultralisks, and only some Marines here really coming to back this up. So we have, whoa, nice plague on the 2 BCs. That's going to be very good. Mines starting to be out on the field. That's one of the great ways to deal with Ultralisks. They just take, excellent amounts of damage from them. But look at that. Sharp knows that he's been defeated. Zero's just been shutting down every aggressive move that Sharp has made since the beginning of the game. Excellent defensive play here. Gets to that 4 gas number. Able to make those Ultralisks and just crush Sharp in the late game. So very well played series by both Zero and Sharp. Looks like Zero is going to end up on top of this one. I hope you guys enjoyed this 3-part series here brought to you by StarCastTV. My name is DocHoliday. If you would, please hit that subscribe button and maybe leave us a comment in the comment section below. We'll see you next time, guys. I had a lot of fun casting it for you. Have a good one.